Hey there, how's it going? All right. Just got to do my bit of housekeeping here. There we go. Hey there, welcome. Okay. Good to go. All right. So today, my kids are watching the show Lilo and Stitch, and I was thinking about modeling up the FBI guy. His name's Cobra Bubbles, and I was thinking about modeling him, but then I found this really kind of cute experiment that someone else did. I found it on Google while I was looking for Cobra Bubbles. So um, anyway, I found this artist on DeviantArt. His name is Brycerific43, and he does a whole bunch of really cool like Stitch fan art. So anyway, I thought I'd model him up. He's a full character, but simple. So yeah, sounds like fun to me. Let's do it. All right, I'm gonna get some music going now. Music going. How's everyone doing today? You guys had a good weekend? Hello, welcome everyone. Let's see, let's get this going. Here we go. Shuffle play this. All right. Trying to get. Oh, Neil, that was great. The hand you did was the latest one. It was really well done. Yeah. Just well, I'll have to reach out to you. All right, let's get going. Oh, you like that bust tutorial? Thank you very much. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna block out the body first, and then we'll get the head going on there. Let me know if you guys hear music at all. I hope you don't. I have it turned off. Let me go turn it down just a little bit though. Tend to speak louder when it's going. Hey Dom. Oh, awesome. Are you gonna sculpt this along with me? That'd be cool. Okay. Let's swap this out with this shape. If you guys didn't know that, if you have the gizmo showing, you can open up an insert multi-mesh brush and tap on any of these shapes, and it will replace that shape with whichever shape you tapped on. So sometimes it's good and sometimes not so good when you'll forget to turn your gizmo off and accidentally want to insert a new shape, but instead it replaces your old shape, and it's not always the best thing. It's not always what you want. So oh, awesome, Neil. That's great. Did you like that feedback? That 3.5 hours of feedback? Oh, gotta turn off Spotify. Spotlight projection. This is gonna be his body. Hey Dan, how's it going? No music, thanks me. No, Quessy, the brushes do not work for R8. So, you should upgrade to 2020 if you can, because the upgrades are free. So there shouldn't be a reason why you're using 4R8. Just saying that, but all right. Hello from Venezuela. Oh, thank you very much. Means a lot. Okay. Do you guys all see how the elf girl head turned out last week? You guys see that? See if I can find the render of it. I'll have to find it. Dan, I don't know about that, but thank you very much. All right, so here's how she turned out. So this is from the last 3 weeks, and I gave it a render in Blender. I've been learning how to render in Blender Cycles and Eevee, and yeah, turned out pretty nice. I love the render in there. So I didn't do any subsurface scattering or anything like that, but and these are Dynamesh eyes. So Dynamesh makes a Blender plugin called Eye Builder or something like that, and I use those eyes for her. I replaced the ones that I had in ZBrush. So anyway, yeah, she turned out pretty good. Okay. Continue on with this. Let's look at let's get a tail kind of going on here. So I'm going to have the tail kind of come out at this angle, and then I'll pose it later. Hope I don't go robot voice today. I don't know what's been up with that. Yeah, Dan's kind of Stitchosaurus. A little bit. Yeah, Danny has a lot of great tutorials out there. This is, oh, come on. Pull that out. There we go. So, when I went to the Lightbox Expo, when they actually had expos, I met Chris Sanders. He is the designer of Stitch, the actual. And I didn't know this, but he's the voice of Stitch too, I guess. Oh, thanks, Neil. Yeah, I like to give Danny's a good guy. I like to give him a shout out. Okay. I'll stitch those together. It's a play on words right there. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and lean this body forward. Something like that, because I'd say she's, I think it's a she. I don't know. I like how it's got these triple toes, and the middle toe has a claw on it. Kind of raptor-ish a little bit, but cute. Hey, what's up, Chris? Yeah, it's kind of a mix between Land Before Time and Stitch, right? That's funny, Neil. Okay, looking for. That's not bad. All right, let's get the head on there. Got dense. Yeah, that's a good density, I think. All right. This head's going to be interesting. Those eyes are so big. And that's got a really big nose. All right. Now this is an interesting little tip. As far as polygroup colors, you can see I started with this orange and then it goes to green. The tail's green and the head's green. That it actually is putting them in, it's not the same polygroup color. It looks like the same, but it's not. But if I drew a new one here and a new one here, those would both be pink. And if I draw, so it kind of generates a new polygroup as you work down the chain of objects you're adding. So like if I added pink and then orange and then blue, if I start to draw on, well, on the body it'll be green, then pink, then orange, then blue. See that? It's like it generates them in a certain order. Not that it matters, it's just kind of an interesting fact that it does. I'm not saying I don't know. I haven't used Marvelous much, so I'm not one to comment about that yet. I'll let you know after it comes out. I guess by that time you would know too. But you also have to think about ZBrush is a digital sculpting tool first, and you know everything else second. So if when I looked at that trailer, I'm like, you know, this could be really helpful for me to kind of inspire me to do cloth, right? And inspire me to, because usually I hand sculpt cloth because of stylized characters. I'm looking for really simple cloth that's exaggerated and caricatured. So, but cloth is difficult as far as trying to find the wrinkles and knowing where the wrinkles happen. So it's nice to have kind of a guide, and it would be fun to like start the simulation, you know, and then let it kind of guide where the wrinkles are going to go, and then finish with digital sculpting after that, you know. So that's kind of how I see it working. I don't really see it being too much of a competitor with Marvelous, because Marvelous I think is more for like realistic clothing. Like you have to almost be a clothing designer to use Marvelous. So I don't know if I'd really put them in the same category. Hello from Nepal. Wow. Okay, big old nose on here. Leave enough room for that mouth. That mouth's gonna be tricky. All right. I think it'd be kind of fun to just go ahead and color this color. Just so we're kind of just working in that color. Might as well, right? All right. Why not? Yes, Marion, that's what somebody else was saying too. It's a common theme. Let's see. Okay. So you'll see me using that gizmo, and I keep checking it because the insert multi-mesh will draw on the last known arc or angle as the gizmo is left at. So that's why I keep going back and resetting it, because I want it to be even, or you know, parallel with the axis in the world. So I'm going to make these ear things go straight back from her head. Um, 2021, I can't say. So I think, yeah, I can't say much about that. I wish I could. Let's see. Sorry, I wish I could. Okay, I'm just making the connection point very, very small, as small as I can get it. Okay. Something like that. Yeah, I'm super excited for it. That's for sure. Hey, Saeed, how's it going? Let's see how this is going here. I'm doing well, thanks. Trying to decide how long to make these ear things. Maybe a little bit longer. We'll see after I get it posed, right? But super birds? So when you're doing a neutral pose, you kind of want to model the parts kind of in between their extremes. So if a tail can go all the way up to say here and then all the way down to here, you try and find a middle location and stick it there. Yeah, I'm sure they'll announce it when they do, so just follow Pixologic's Facebook and their Twitter and all that stuff, and I'm sure they'll announce it when they're ready. Okay, let me see here. Jorge, I'm good, thanks. Okay. Okay, before I get into the head stuff, I'm gonna still focus on the legs and arms. Starting Whole 30 tomorrow, trying to improve my health. Like you're doing anything important I need to know about starting out? I'm not doing Whole 40. I'm doing the whole food plant-based. I'm not sure exactly what the Whole 30 is. I've heard of it, but I don't know what the details are. So whole food plant-based is essentially check out the website called Forks Over Knives and watch Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. That one's focused mostly on juicing. And The Game Changers on Netflix. Watch Game Changers. Yeah, good stuff. Did I ever finish the punk skeleton bust? I got really close. I just need to render it out. So since I've been learning rendering in Blender, I've been wanting to go back and render a whole bunch of my characters in there. I also just found a brand new renderer from Pablo. Pablo's another streamer on here, and he turned me on to this renderer called Maverick. Maverick is a brand new render that came out not too long ago, and it is sweet. It is sweet. So, Josh, can I draw well? I haven't drawn in a long time. I used to draw all the time, but I kind of switched my focus over to just sculpting. So, but I used to draw a lot in my younger days. Let's see. Glad to see you well and healthy. Thank you so much. Yeah, I started it 222 pounds, and I'm currently at 189. So I've lost, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what the math is on that, but I try not to focus on it too much. Let's see. Local symmetry. Yeah, Neil, that's the one, I believe. Yeah, I've been teaching myself that renderer, and it's not very hard to learn. It's a lot of fun. Do you usually do UVs on your stylized characters? Only if I'm going to be taking them into a game engine. Otherwise, if I'm just going to do 3D printing, there's no need for UVs. So I'm probably just going to print this one. If I do at all. But I've done my share of UVing in the past. For sure. For complete ZBrush models along with their texture maps in one click. Kind of. Configure your mesh and textures using ZBrush's multi-map export, then import the models in map. I have yet to test that. What I've done is they have a ZBrush button in there, and it just brings over your ZTL with polypaint. Pretty straight in, but it uses FBX. Yeah, I've never really used V-Ray, so so for me, this is just my personal taste, okay? Oh, that's on the website for Maverick. Okay, gotcha, thanks. So as far as I'm saying, you point these forward. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let me rewind that. I'm thinking about renderers and not paying attention. So my thing with renderers, okay, is I want to spend more time sculpting and less time rendering. So if I can get a really good render in a short amount of time, then that's what's for me. That's what I'm looking for. And I was able to just pull my model in, and it just started rendering. I didn't have to hit render or anything. It's just a scanline renderer, or scanline. I'm not sure exactly what kind of, anyway. And it just started rocking it out, and it was awesome. So I was pretty impressed out of the gate. Which version of ZBrush? Always the latest version, because all upgrades have been free up till this point, so there's no reason to use an older version of ZBrush, because their builds are pretty much stable, and they're just as stable as the next one, right? So, and then you get all the new features when you upgrade. So I always upgrade. So this is 2021 or 2020, sorry, 2020.1, right? 0.1.1. It's got 2.1s after it. Somebody else just asked that about UVing. Do I retopo my models? I do if I'm bringing them into a game engine. Okay, so I'm going to twist these legs out, I think. Okay, I'll make those toes later. Oh, me, there's been another. Okay, I got to grab that one. I guess I'm a little outdated. 0.4. Could I explain a decimation in ZBrush? Basically, it just rebuilds your models with as few triangles as possible. Mainly for 3D printing. So it basically simplifies the geometry of your model in triangles. So yeah, that's usually what that's for. Okay, hey, what's up, David? $3D Studio Max works better for... I don't understand that question, I guess. They're kind of different programs, so I haven't used 3D Studio Max since version 3, I think. It's been a long time for me. That's what I learned 3D in. So Stephen, they're two different uses though. So ZRemesher is going to give you a brand new sculpting mesh to sculpt on, right? And Decimation, the Decimation Master is typically used to get the lowest or the fewest amount of triangles to describe the same amount of detail as possible. So, and usually it has one purpose, and that's to send it to a 3D printer or out to be manufactured as a toy or something like that. And I wouldn't ZRemesher a model to send to a 3D printer, if that makes sense. I would just decimate it. And then I wouldn't use Decimation to make a sculpture, a sculpt mesh. I would use ZRemesher. So they're kind of apples and oranges there, based off of what you want to do. Yep, version 3, early 2000. That's about right. I started my career in 1997, 98, something like that. And I was still using 3D Studio version 3 and DOS. So it's been a while since I've used 3D Studio Max. A couple years. But I have a love for that program since that's what I learned 3D in. But I've also used several programs since then. Like Softimage when it was around, and it was called Alias Wavefront, and well, Alias Wavefront turned into Maya, but everything in DOS is good. Yeah, good. All right, I'm just gonna bend these arms forward. All right, these 3-fingered finned hands are kind of interesting. Used XSI, nice. It was. We had just a handful of seats at our school on SGI machines, and those machines were like 12 grand, and with inflation these days that would be like a $40,000 machine. Swapping discs. Oh my goodness. I had a Commodore 128 back in the day with a hard drive, and not a hard drive, a floppy disk drive, and you had to to play games you had to swap discs out, and you'd have to wait for the game to load like a half an hour before you could play it. True Space. I used True Space, and it was horrible. I actually wrote, well, I shouldn't say wrote. I contributed to a book in 1998, and it was a tutorial on how to model characters in 3D Studio Max version 1. So that tells you how old I am. Oh yeah, the tape deck. I didn't have the tape deck, Neil. I had the Commodore 128 hard drive. What I keep saying hard drive. It was a floppy disk drive. So I didn't have the tape deck. That's funny. I totally forgot about that tape deck. All right. Oh, Rhino. I remember. So Rhino was like the first true like NURBS modeler, right? what are good tutorials on ZBrush besides the Pixologic ones? Well, there are a lot out there, and it depends on how far you want to take it. Like, I'll shout out to Dynamesh again. Dynamesh has a whole bunch of great tutorials on his YouTube channel for ZBrush. I myself, I teach an online course for how to do this stuff. It's this logo right above me, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. You can check that out. And I give away these brushes for free and my user interface for free if you're interested in that too. Oh, you still use Rhino? You know, I never got into NURBS. That's one thing I never really used much of. I couldn't really get my head around how they worked and make anything. Like, it's funny I say that because the tutorial that I did in 3D Studio Max in this book, it's called Creature Workshop book. I can't remember. Anyway, I use patches in 3D Studio Max to make these characters with, and those patches are kind of like NURBS in a way, but they use these Bezier curves on the edges, and I made I'll have to dig out my old models from back then. Long time ago. Okay. Let me think about this. I'm gonna split this nose off. All right. The CV curves, yeah, Maya has NURBS CV curve. Yeah, NURBS are nuts. Interesting. Yeah, DreamWorks used NURBS for the longest time. They just recently switched. Oh, really? Yeah, so I know some of the animators that worked on that Spider-Man. But I don't know any of the modelers that worked on that one. I'm gonna scoot these feet in a little bit. Yeah, Eldridge. Yeah, Turbo Smooth in 3D Studio Max. Or Catmull Clark Subdivisions. Okay, let's get these. I want to get this head going. And I think I'm trying to decide what I want to do with this. If I want to split this head off for a second, I think I will. Because I don't want to mess with the rest of the body and the ears and stuff. I just want to try and work out these eyes and mouth. Thanks, Think. Yes, let's see, 35 minutes. Split hidden, get that head. Let's rename this so I know which one's which. And this is the nose. All right. So I'm going to subdivide this head a couple times. Let's get some more resolution. I saw my old videos like in 2018 on the site and tried downloading it, but it was expired. What videos are you talking about? All right. I'm curious to know. Like, where did you find them? Okay, I'm just gonna do this the old push in the mouth cavity way. Let's call this the Armstrong method. Just do it. Just make it happen. Make a mouth. If it's a if it's a pirate site, please don't post the link. So I get my tutorials pirated a lot, unfortunately. I did some tutorials for digital tutors back in the day. And I did one on Gumroad, this frog. I need to take that one down though, it's a little outdated. I leave it up because it's only 20 bucks and it's still kind of relevant. Okay. What's the main difference between merging everything with Dynamesh and doing it with Remesh by Union? Is it low? Shouldn't be low. I'm pinging at my yellows on my little band there. Shouldn't be. I'm just hoping I don't get the robotic voice again. Audio's good? Okay. What was I saying? Oh, main difference between Dynamesh and Remesh by Union. So Remesh by Union will not change the mesh except for where the stitch occurs. So where two objects will overlap, that's the only point of the mesh that it's going to disturb. With Dynamesh, it's going to remesh the entire thing whether you want it to or not. So it's going to rebuild the whole mesh. So that's the biggest difference. So if you have anything you've built and you want to keep, it's kind of that's kind of smaller details ish. So yeah, I don't really use Dynamesh that much anymore. I only use it to get rid of interior geometry. I guess I got to turn topological on if I want it to work. There we go. I typically will use Dynamesh for hold on a second. I use Dynamesh if I want to get rid of interior geometry if I'm going to 3D print. That's what I use it for the most for the most part. Yeah, I wasn't trying to sound like an Autobot. I thought that would be cool, but I mean, I have a voice changer that'll do it, but I wasn't doing that on purpose. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to remesh just to kind of get the flow going, but I want to put the eyes in there. This is looking pretty funny right now. Okay, let's get some eyes. This is going to be a really tricky model to do because of the placement of the eyes. Make them super huge. Yeah, it looks like a bunny or who knows what. The eyes are going to hang down into her mouth. All right. It's almost right in line with the surface. And then I'll just dig into the head around the eyes. Revolution of a minion. All right, let's split. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and make this kind of a black color. Yeah, it's a Stitch-ish fan art. So basically, this guy on DeviantArt, I think Neil, would you mind posting the link? This guy on DeviantArt does a whole bunch of like Stitch fan art where he does different experiments. You know how it's like experiment 626 is Stitch. There's like experiments, all these numbers. Brycific 43, yeah, that's the one. Thanks, Neil. So, yeah, that's we go. And if you're wondering what the heck I'm doing right now, I just put the eye kind of in place where I was sort of wanting it. And then I just have this detail brush. This detail brush is kind of like the Damien standard brush, or the Dam standard brush. And I'm just using that to carve in to the eye, to re-expose the eye. Yeah, I really like Stitch. You know, I used to not be as big of a fan, and then I watched it again, and I'm like, man, this is a good movie. Okay. And I'll adjust the mouth here in a minute. My kids were just watching it before I started my stream, so I'm like, man, I should model a Stitch character. We had a Stitch, an actual Stitch in Disney Infinity. My friend Ian Jacobs modeled the heck out of that, and it turned out awesome. It's sitting. Yeah, it's over on my shelf somewhere. Trying to see if I can see it and grab it, but I don't know where it's at. Okay. Yeah, it's just 3dcharacterworkshop.com. If you go there, it's right on the front page. You can grab them. Here, I'll show you. So this is the web page right here. If you want to learn about my workshop, you can click here. But if you want the brushes, you can click down here, right there. This big blue area. So, and it comes with my user interface and my ruler file and stuff too. So if you want it, just grab it there. Okay. I want to pull this mouth in. Oh, really? I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay, I'm going to do, I'm going to take this mouth to Sculptris Pro here shortly. This is kind of what it looks like underneath the eye. Hey, Ika, how's it going? Just going to push this eye socket in more. Hey David, I love Legend of Korra. I really do. That's another underrated thing, I think. Okay, so I'm running out of geometry. I'm going to turn Sculptris Pro mode on. Oh, awesome, Micah. Sweet. Thinning her out. Okay, so let's see. Let's go stroke, Sculptris Pro, turn off adaptive. And then I'm going to mess with this. What? Auto masking. What are you talking about? What smooth is it? Hold on a second. It's just regular smooth. Why can't it be? Oh, it has topological turned on. Okay. I forgot I did that. There it goes. What's the difference between Sculptris Pro and Dynamesh? Sculptris Pro is more focused, like you can paint on the density like I'm doing here. And with Dynamesh, and it also uses mostly triangles, it will put in some quads, but Dynamesh will do the entire mesh. It will all at the same time. So I guess Sculptris Pro, I would say, is more focused, and Dynamesh is just an overall sweeping thing that you do to the mesh. So you can put more or less detail wherever you want it. So I've been really enjoying Sculptris Pro a lot, and added it to my workflow. Let's see. I've recently added some lessons to my course about Sculptris Pro and how to use it. in detail. So I can leave the back of the head like this because I don't need it. How do you add a mesh with Sculptris without deforming the mesh? Well, it will work with smooth. So I'm just holding down shift and adding this stuff with smooth. So that's how I'm doing it. Okay, so now, oh, I'm glad you like that, Neil. Yeah, I love it. I love it a lot. I like it a lot. So let's see. Inflate this. And kind of build this up. Oh, that was yeah, that was for ZBrush Core. So I did that for ZBrush Core back in the day. And I don't, that one was that was quite difficult to do. But maybe eventually someday I might do something else like that. I did that for Pixologic to promote Sculptris, or not Sculptris, ZBrush Core. Okay. Hey, what's up, Steven? How you doing, man? So smartest is Steven. He's another sculptor on here. Streamer, sculptor streamer on the Pixologic channel. How you been, man? Yeah, I haven't talked to you for a while, huh? I'm just doing a little Stitch-ish fan art. Yeah, me too. Staying quarantine, staying home and streaming. You know how it goes. So, Steven, what time are you still streaming heavy on here or light on here, or when do you stream? Shout it out. Tell the peeps when you go. So Steven does a lot of stylized characters very similar to the stuff I do. Very good stuff. All right, I'm going to turn that density up a little bit. Turn this smoothing up a bit. Hey, Scarlove87, how's it going? I haven't even touched the nose yet. Yeah, it's weird. Twice a month. You'll be on this Friday and on the 21st. Oh, cool. What time do you go? Turn this down a little bit. 8 Pacific. Awesome. So what have you been working on lately, Steven? Anything cool that you can talk about? Yeah, Link's my, or Neil's my bot, but he's not a bot, he's a real person. So yes, thank you, Neil. You're awesome. All right. I don't even know what to name this one. Stitch something. Stitch sorta. Sorta. That's what I'll call it. Oh, stupid slow. Yeah. Yeah. It's rough, man. Rough, rough. Oh, really? Dang. Sorry to hear, man. Yeah, you'd think. I heard that Disney Features hiring. Should go apply for that. Like with Sergi and Alina and those guys. I have a problem with ZBrush. I started a model in Dynamesh after I made basic shape of the model. My total points were 50,000. Saved it, opened it again, but the total points were 17,000. I don't know why that is. I would reach out to support at pixologic.com and see. But it shouldn't have done that. Are you saving a ZTL or a project? Like, are you hitting this button up here on the top right, the save as, instead of hitting Control S or something? Sometimes it's cleaner if you save a Z tool. Whoops. Yeah, best of luck on that, Steven. That'd be awesome if you could get on there. Okay. Yeah, that's really strange. I don't know why it would change the poly count. I mean, when I'm using Dynamesh, I typically don't pay attention to the poly count much, but to have it change on a save and a load is really strange. So yeah, I would reach out to Pixel. I don't work for Pixologic. I'm just a volunteer here, so I would reach out to them and ask, get them to help you out. And it's hard to know what's going on without like looking at your file and seeing what's happening, which I can't do during my live stream. But yeah, that's your best bet, is just reaching out to those guys. Leave the mouth open a bit. Gonna close this here. Any advice on learning about planes of the face? When you block out a head, what do you look for, and how often do you use drawovers? It depends on, as far as drawovers, it depends on the job I'm on, and if there's an art director and a concept artist. That's if they have a specific goal and style in mind, then I use drawovers all the time. Or if I'm modeling a concept artist from the internet and he or she knows that I'm modeling their stuff, sometimes I'll reach out and they'll I don't really ask for drawovers, but sometimes they'll give them to me after I send it to them. But when I'm on a job, typically I will get drawovers from the art director. Yeah, Kai, let's see. I'm 57 minutes into this model, so I'm just starting out. So yeah, thanks for the feedback, but I'll get to it. I'll get to it eventually. So let's see. What was I saying? Okay, if you go to, I think, Sergi Caliber, he's one of the Disney artists. And he has a planes of the head model that you can check out. It's really cool. I'm not sure if he has it on his Gumroad or not, but I think it's on his Twitter. But it's like SERGI Caliber. So you can check that out, and that's a really cool one to follow and look at for planes of the face study. Is it up there, Steven? Does he have it up there? Oh, Jabber, thank you so much. Wow, that's awesome. I would, Jabber, I would love to capture that in a testimonial. If you wouldn't mind, if you go inside the course on the right hand side, there's a little green button that says testimonials and feedback. If you can click on that, I would love to get that in a testimonial. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's that too. Yeah, that's I'm not a huge fan of that one, but it's in there. So there's a model that ships with ZBrush. That's a kind of a planes of the face one. I like Sergi's a little better, but it's good too. Huge fan. Will you be able to work on character when you can highlight some hard surface modeling in ZBrush in the future? Maybe. It all depends on the character. I'm really not that big of a hard surface modeler person, but I will do it occasionally when it calls for it. Like if it's a sword or something. But maybe I'll have to think about it. Hey Hopper, how's it going, man? Awesome, Jaber. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. You made my day. Okay, I'm just kind of checking this out. I got some lumps going on here. I gotta fix. I think that neck is connecting. It's kind of hard to see. Andy, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Already looking nice for 1 hour work. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I don't really try and do speed modeling. It's just kind of a matter of what I'm trying to get done in a couple of hours on my Twitch stream. So my goal is to not rush things, but it kind of worked out. Oh, Letitia has a course on a platform. The platform is Gnomon, I believe, right? Isn't it Gnomon, Steven? I love Letitia. She's one of my favorite people. And she's a phenomenal sculptor. Iconic Academy about sculpting. Okay. Yeah, she's great. Get this upper lip up here more. She has a course in Brazil. Oh, cool. Hey, Dave, this is ZBrush. ZBrush 2020. Yeah, this upper lip is super I like Sculptris Pro, but one of the downfalls of it is it's really easy to add lumps. Lumpy business. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is smooth this down a little bit. All right, let's see. So sometimes I just like to use like the a light inflate brush, just super duper light, and a big brush. This looks like an ant, right? Just put some antennas on him, he's an ant. Your molten horse? Have I seen that? So just so you guys know, Smartest he keyed my cowboy and dinosaur for me. Awesome work. I still need to get that vid from you. Do you still have it, Steven? Even if it's just a time lapse and no talking, you know? Another person who speaks Portuguese. Yeah, I think Anna does. I thought I'd send them to you. I don't think so. No worries, man. Just be kind of cool to see. Okay. See if I can get this. This is where it gets tricky. Tricky. All right. Lumpy business. Okay, let's get it to twist now. The eye and the, look how close they are together. It's so crazy. I don't know if I can get it that close, but we'll try. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Oh, thanks. I just got a notification that somebody gave me a testimonial. Thank you so much. I'll be getting those testimonials posted on the front page of my site soon. Free? No, not free, Dave. It's on pixologic.com, or you can just Google search ZBrush. I'm sure you'll find it. They do have a free version, though. It's called ZBrush Core Mini. And you can download that and start playing with it and kind of get an idea of what ZBrush is like and the navigation. And there's a lot of sculpting tools in there. It's not as robust as the full version, obviously, but it's a good place to start. And then if you want to go from there, you can always get ZBrush Core. That's kind of the next step up. Yep, 1 month trial. Oh, thanks, Stephen. Polish all the things. Thanks, Neil. Neil's the king of links. Link king. Oh. Hello, friend. I want to buy a drawing tablet and I'm really lost. Can you recommend an entry level one for a friendly price, keeping in mind I have experience drawing on paper? Well, honestly, you can get any drawing tablet you would like, whatever you can afford. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Wacom. I have a Wacom hat right here, and I'm using a Wacom Cintiq, but there are also other brands that you can check out. I wouldn't go crazy and invest in a big one. I actually like the mid-sized one myself. It's like an Intuos Pro, I believe. But if that's too much for you, you can go as low as doing a bamboo. As long as you use something that has pressure sensitivity. Like, don't use a mouse to sculpt with. Use a tablet because it has pressure sensitivity. So Huion, yeah, those are good ones. I've heard they're a tad buggy, but for the most part, for the price, they're amazing. You used to have one of those, Steven? I can't remember. I know Russ did, but I don't know if you had any. You had one. I cannot recall. Can you use Dynamesh? You could. I'm just not. I'm using Sculptris Pro. But could you? Yeah, sure. That's the workflow I used to use, actually, but I've kind of switched it up to using Sculptris Pro instead. You hated them? Oh, really? Not compatible with Wacom at all. Oh, are you kidding? I didn't know that. Ooh, okay. You use a medium Wacom Pro tablet. I'm actually contemplating going back to a tablet, maybe away from this. I don't know yet. There's so many things I love about having Cintiq, and there's so many things that I love about having a tablet. It's basically desk space and real estate. Because this thing is huge. It takes up my whole desk. And yeah, maybe you can buy mine. I don't know. I like it for the speed. Basically, it just speeds you up, right? But I have never had anything. I haven't had any of the tablets other than Wacom, so I can't really speak to that. Okay, I'm gonna ZRemesh this because I want to do some larger movements. Yeah, like I always say, a Cintiq won't make you a better artist, but it may make you a faster and more productive artist because you will take fewer strokes to do a curve or a line, right? Because it's 1-to-1 and you can just like hit that stroke as easy as you can because it's 1-to-1. But with a tablet, there's an offset. So it might take you 3 or 4 times to do that same stroke, and it slows you down a little bit. That's about the only difference. Yeah, I'm just debating. I don't know. I'm not liking how this cheek is looking, so I'm gonna duplicate this head off and ZRemesh it and see what happens. Whoops. Well, speed isn't the thing. It's accuracy is what you need to be best at. I'm just trying to be fast here because I'm on the live stream. That's all. But when I'm working on a job, I typically don't try and be super quick. I mean, you need to get it done fairly quick, but accuracy is king. Spin this around. PMag. Yeah, I wish. No, I don't wish. I don't want to try sculpting with knobs. Oh, goodness. All right. I'm just masking this off so I can polygroup it. Get a better color. There we go. I'm just making some loops for the ZRemesher to follow. That's all. If you're wondering what the heck I'm doing. What the heck are you doing? All right, this is where it's going to get tricky, is between the mouth and the eye. It's so tight right there. You love it? Interesting. There you go. Like saying, I'm going to tie a big board to your hands and see what you can do with that. Could you please say the name of short key? What short key are you talking about? Like to do the polygroups, maybe? So I'm hitting Control W for that. It's just slower, David. I like it, but it's just a little slower. This I can just kind of bust out some colors really quick. Hit auto group since that inner mouth is an island. Looks like he's got, it's a fish with lipstick. Okay. I think I'm gonna do one more inside this eye that's just like this. Sometimes it helps give that inner eye a ring. Which brush did you use to make the eye lines? Like you're talking about these edges? I just use this pinch brush. It's a brush that's based off of the Ma cut brush by Malachus the Black, Ma, M-A-H. So it's a variation on that brush. Okay. I'm gonna do one more ring on the inside of the mouth too. Let's turn on double so we can see it. Hey Doug. See David, there's Dougie right there. Doug, during my Q&A session this last week, I was, because you both kind of Dave G and Doug E, I was getting confused, you know, my old man brain. And so I was calling David Doug E. So now you're both here together, you should fight. Oh, welcome Doug. Oh man. There we go. I think that's a little too close. So you can always undo it and hit Control W again and you can get a new color. It looks like, oops. Looks like there's some crappy faces in this. Yeah, sorry. I apologize to David profusely already. Oh my goodness. All right, so here we go. Let's see what this is gonna look like. Let me hide this. Now that we have this, let's save it again. Stitch sorta 2. Okay. Let's ZRemesh this puppy. See what's gonna give us. Keep groups. You want to keep groups, and you know I think I'll use easy ZRemesh for this part because I want to turn up the resolution to 10K. I don't know. I think it's just fan art from Lilo. I don't know if it's a specific one, but this guy just draws a whole bunch of fan art from Lilo and Stitch. So I don't know if it's an actual experiment or not. Okay. So I'm going to run this without Decimation because Decimation essentially does what I already did to this. So I'm just going to hit this and see what it does. It's Geigenstein? Is that actually a name for the thing? Man, I should have named it Geigenstein rather than sort of Stitch. Or not Stitch. But I should have named it not Stitch. There we go. So, not bad, not bad. There's a little weirdness happening right here. Let's half it and see what we get. Yeah, nice. And then we'll say clean it. Okay. Sometimes that can get tricky. Let's go to white. Oh, goodness. Because it will, Easy ZRemesher will automatically put creases on the poly group borders. So it'll cause these edges. And so I'll have to go back in and do the edges, the edge work again. But the reason I'm doing this is because it kind of basically cleans up the mesh away from Sculptris Pro. And now I can smooth it and clean it back up, and it's lower mesh. Lower meshes are easier to deal with, and they don't cause as many warbles. So, and I can turn on dynamic subdivisions and clear out those creases, and then go clean it back up. Okay, where's this easy remesh? It is a plugin made by Francis Xavier, Poly Junkie, and you can find it on ArtStation. I believe he also has it on his Gumroad or something like that. I bought it from ArtStation. It's like $7. It's like way worth the price, right? So this is really cool. You basically set your resolution and then you run it. If you don't have a Sculptris Pro mesh, I highly suggest holding down Alt and clicking this button. You can see if you hold down Alt, it's going to decimate it first, which is essentially run Sculptris Pro on it, on the whole thing, and turn it into little miniature triangles. And then half it will basically cut the polygon count in half while cleaning it up at the same time. And I'm not going to get into mask it and slice it. Those are two other things. And then Clean Mesh will try and do a polish on it with creased edges. So it's a really nice plugin. Yeah. Okay. Do you use the Lazy Nizumi Pro? I don't know what that is. Sorry. So I guess the answer is no, I don't. Okay, so now I can turn down my smooth. I'm going to turn Sculptris Pro off if it's not already, which it is. Now I can just kind of clean this up and clean up this lower lip and this upper lip. Kind of looking like Jiminy Cricket a little bit. Oh, did somebody ask about a shortcut? Yeah, so to set a shortcut, all you have to do, say if I wanted to set a shortcut to my custom menu. So if you get my brushes, it comes with my custom menu, and I have it set to number 2 on the keyboard, not on the numpad. So if you want to set that hotkey, you basically go up to the menu you want to set it for, hold down Control plus Alt, click on it, and it'll say, now press any key combination to assign a custom hotkey. You can do that for anything in the menus up here. You can assign a custom hotkey to any of those things. Okay. Sure, Saeed. It's very polite of you to ask beforehand, thank you, but it's not necessary. You can just ask your question if you want to. But I appreciate it. I do. Okay. Now he's got a white head. See how much cleaner it is now? But my edges, my hard edges went away. I'll have to bring those back. And that is why I made the edge loops go the direction that I wanted them to go. So when I use the pinch brush, I can repinch these and it will use the underlying geometry and keep it there. So then I don't get these weird jaggies. A narwhal. Would be the best way to H-polish corners, like the corners of the mouth. The brush always affects the other side. Turn on this backface mask if you're getting it to affect the other side. And this backface mask you can turn on for any brush. So for example, if I wanted to inflate the outside of the mouth and not the inside of the mouth, you have to think about these brushes as spheres, like 3D spheres in space. They're represented by a 2D plane that's hovering over the surface of the model, but in actuality it's a sphere. It kind of looks like, let me see, I'll just draw one. I'll draw a sphere for you. So it's like a sphere like this. So if it's pressed into the surface, then there's a good possibility it's going to come out on the other side. Like if you're going to make a cape or something like that, that spherical shape might affect both sides. So basically what you want to do is, if you have polish turned on, just hit this backface mask and it will only affect the side that you're touching. It will ignore the opposite side. So there you go. What I keep forgetting all the time is the shortcut to make those copies of your tool on the background and clean it later. Oh, like the snapshot, the Shift S, that one. Shift S, Shift S, Shift S. There you go. Making this weird. And then if you want to clear it, you just hit Control N. It clears it off. Okay. We have 326 people watching today. Holy cow. I just barely looked at that and I'm like, whoa, that might be a record. That's awesome. Well, welcome everyone who's if you're new here, welcome. I'm Shane Olson. Yeah, welcome to the stream. I've streamed on here for quite a while, but it's funny how when people are quarantined, they tend to watch online videos and stuff. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you sharing your time with me today. Sound like Bob Ross a little bit there, but I do. Okay. I'm listening to a little bit of Pet Shop Boys today. Old from the 80s. You guys remember Pet Shop Boys? Little band from the UK, I think. The Tunamator. Hey, how you doing, man? Let's fill this in with this color. Well, glad to see you back. Hey, AIO, welcome. Angry. What's going on, man? Dude, your name is hard to read. It's like dark red for me. I don't know if it just shows that way. It shows up that way in Restream. I don't know why. It's like, who's that? Oh, it's Angry. How you doing, man? All right. I want this to be better right here. Yep, Neil. I don't know what this one is. What is this one? This is called Fugitive. It just got over. I don't know. After making the poly group, if the group's not very be smooth and soft, ZRemesher will have a problem. No, it will work it out. It will do okay, typically. So that's why I duplicated off a head. See, I have my old one and my new one. Just in case the ZRemesher doesn't do what I want it to do, I always have a backup. I can go back to that and try it again, maybe with some different numbers, maybe different poly groups, stuff like that. But you don't need to have a super clean edge between your poly groups in order to ZRemesh. In fact, I have found that it works better if you don't. So I don't know why. I guess it just kind of has it's using it more of a guide than something it has to strictly follow, and it just kind of works better. So I hope that answers your question. Okay. Yep. Weston Boys and Dead End Girls. Or I can't remember how it goes. I'm destroying it. All right. So this is the character I'm attempting today. Okay, I'm going to, let's grab the color from this. I don't know if I like this one. Alison Moyer, she's okay. I like some of her stuff, but not a lot of it. There we go. Little Depeche Mode. All right. So I'm going to take the nose and do to the nose what I did to the head and add it. But before I do that, I want to add some thickness to that lower lip and give it some roundness. Because it just kind of ends in a wedge, like at this wedge shape. And I want it to end in a round shape. So to do that, I think I'm going to use this cloth brush. Because this cloth brush kind of makes a shape. Let's see. Like that, or like this. So it's kind of the round shape that I'm looking for, nice and smooth. All right. I just kind of go back and forth between putting that down and then smoothing it out. And let's see. Now, another thing you could do is hold down Control plus Shift and click on a shared vertice, a shared point between two poly groups, and you'll get just those two poly groups isolated. So now I can come in with that cloth brush. In fact, I want to hide half of this though. So I'm going to go like, whoops, I'm going to take the select lasso and hide half. Whoops, if I could select better, I should use my pen. There we go. Okay, because I wanted to create more of a lip in here instead of a shelf. So I'm going to go back to this cloth brush and just kind of push it in. There we go. Let's see how that looks. There we go. There we go. Looks more like a fish lip. Oh, Lazy Nezumi Pro is a Windows app that helps you draw smooth, beautiful lines. So Andrew has it built in. It's called Lazy Mouse. So if you, and I actually have it right here. All you need to do is turn on L, hit L for Lazy Mouse. It's actually already on this brush. And it's, to me, it's like the equivalent of dragging a rock through sand when it's tied to a string. So if you're trying to draw these really nice lines in the sand with just a rock, it's kind of difficult. But if you tie a string to it and you drag the rock through the sand, you can make some really nice clean loops, right? So essentially this this lazy radius right here, see Lazy Mouse is on right now, and lazy radius, that's the length of the string that you're going to use to drag through the sand, I guess, is using the analogy there. So as I start to go, you can see it has this number, and you can see how it's like dragging it through the sand. And that's how you can get a cleaner, a much cleaner stroke with your brush. Just kind of crank that up, and yeah. So I'm essentially thinking it might be similar to that. Maybe not. But when you're on a Cintiq, I tend to use it a lot less. But when you're using a tablet, it's a necessity, in my opinion. How do you pick a color from the other subtool, a reference image? Yeah, so it's the letter C on your keyboard. That's how you select a color from your other subtools. Now, if you want to select a color from your reference in Spotlight, if you have something in here in Spotlight like this, then you need to show the Spotlight ring by hitting Z, and then you just use C again to grab the color. And you can just hover over, see how the color is changing in the color swatch? I don't have to click, I just have to hover and then let go, and then hit Z again, and then we have that color. Oh, in drawing apps? Okay, got you, me. So Lazy Mouse lets you use it all over the place, not just in ZBrush. That's cool. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I need to adjust this eyelid a little bit. And then I think I'm gonna add the eyelash. That's a big part of her. And then let's get this super pointy. Gotcha, me. Kind of like Pure Ref is. Miko, sculpt Lois from Family Guy someday? Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look at her design again. Honestly, I typically don't know what I'm sculpting until like 20 minutes before. I was like, oh, that looks like a cool design. I'll sculpt that. And something that I think will only take me a few sessions, like 1, 2, maybe 3 sessions. That's what I look at. Okay, that's what it's missing. I need to get that cheek in there. Goodness sakes. It's like, what is up with that mouth? And it's missing the whole volume of this cheek. That's what happens when I get too lost in conversation and don't focus. Abram, what do you recommend or technique to get such clean models like yours? Use an extremely low resolution mesh, as low as you can get it. That's kind of the idea there. And then use a what am I trying to say? Use Dynamesh or dynamic subdivisions, not Dynamesh. Dynamic subdivisions. I was reading the other question and I was thinking about it. This is not a Chris Sanders drawing, although it's based off of Chris Sanders' design, you know, original Stitch design. It's not a Chris Sanders. It is. Hey, Ashley just showed up. How you doing? What's going on today, Ash? We got 3 streamers in here. Now we just need like Eamon and Brendan and those guys. Oh, I gotta say it. Snake hook, snake hook. she's preemptively visiting. Yep, Ashley's another streamer on Pixologic live stream. What sub? Oh, that's why. Hate it when I'm on the wrong sub tool. Oh man. Whoa, gotta turn on symmetry, dummy. Thanks, Natalia. Thank you so much. I think its head's too small. I gotta make the head bigger. All right, and then I need, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I still need to do, but it's turned out not too bad. I think it's all right. Getting there. Come on, get. There we go. Thanks, A Cubed. Appreciate it. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to focus today. I get lost in conversation so much. Oh, I keep forgetting I set the lazy radius on this thing to huge. Too much. Too much. So how's life, Ashley? Still staying quarantined up there? Also happens to me that I try to use pinch brush on subtool, for example, but I'm on the wrong side, wrong subtool, and then what's going on now? Panic. Yep. Hey, yeah, I did use Sculptris Pro. You can see what it looked like here. So that's the Sculptris Pro version. And then I ZRemeshed it to look like this. Now I'm wishing I kind of want my Sculptris back. I'm running out of geometry. Oh well. Why? Need to get a tongue in there to squish these up. That's good, hiding in my hobbit hole with your corgi. Wouldn't need a quarantine for that to continue. Yeah, right. The whole when the quarantine happened, I'm like, what's different? Even my kids already do online school, so it's like really, really not a big difference. Other than going to the store, we changed grocery shopping to pickup, so we go and pick it up. Come on. You feel like you only ask noob stuff. What's Sculptris Pro? Sculptris Pro is, well, it works like, it only works on certain brushes. It doesn't work on all the brushes, but it will essentially change the resolution of your model on the fly. It's kind of like dynamic topology. So you have to turn it on right here. So I'm holding down shift for my smooth brush, and if I turn it on and then I set my subdivide size right here, and you can see these squares back here, this is the resolution it used to be. And if I hold down smooth and go over the surface, you can see how it adds density right there. And it will dynamically add density as you go. So since we have Ashley here, we're gonna do a snake hook brush, and it works really good with a snake hook brush because you won't run out of geometry. I gotta turn it on. It won't work topological. So you can see right here, see it just kind of keeps going with that geometry. If I had it turned off and I tried to do that same thing, you'd run out of geometry and it would start to shard, which sometimes is a good thing because you can make like dragon wings and stuff out of that, right? So yeah, this is essentially an ant head, right? Let's make some ant. Yeah, there we go. And we're done. Yep, artifacts are cool. So yeah, you can either leave them on or leave it off depending on how. Yeah, Crunchy Geo. I know you're like Crunchy Geo embracer of the millennium, which is awesome. Okay, let's go. I don't want that. I want this. There we go. Art effects. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to use some Sculptris Pro on this nose right here. If I can ever get to it. Ugh. Well, now I'm looking from the side and I want to fix it. Fix it. $331. Am I even approaching your numbers, Ashley? I think today's a record for me. I have 331 viewers between all platforms, that is. That's what Restream's telling me anyway. Never look at it from the side. Yeah, just don't turn it. It's like if we tested less for COVID, we wouldn't have as many positive tests. It's the same thing. If we didn't look at this thing from the side, we wouldn't have a problem looking at it from the side. Oh, goodness. You have a question about snake hook and ZRemesh? All right, say it. Sneak that closer. Tenchi, what's going on, man? This eye needs to be bigger. I'm skipping all over the place today. ADHD on high. All right, I'm gonna throw a material on this eyeball just for the heck of it. Some toy plastic action. Fill, and then go back. All right. Let's see. The entire nation does a face plant. I'm not gonna say anything. I'll say no more. After using snake hook with small size, how can you use ZRemesher for that? Sometimes it doesn't do the best job, I'll be honest. And there's not really a trick to get it to work. It just you have to do it and try it and see if it's going to turn out or not. But one thing you can do is use a higher density mesh and it might capture that. But if you're using a super low density mesh, it's not going to capture it at all. Okay. Ashley, no, I'm not. You never look at your numbers? You gotta try and do that next stream just to see. I'm not for competition's sake. I'm just curious to see. All right. Yep. See, I'm all over the place. Messing with the legs, messing with the this and that. All right, what's going on? Ugh. Oh, autosave was trying to do the thing. Derek from Africa. Yeah, you work. Yeah, I can't talk today. You're welcome. Uganda. What time is it in Uganda right now? All right, all right. Okay. You get a tongue in there. And these wrinkles are super warbly. 10 p.m. Not too bad, not too bad. You know, it's weird because I seem like calm and relaxed when I'm sculpting on here, right? My stream, because people have told me that, and I get up from sculpting and I'm just like sweating from nervousness. I act like I'm not nervous, but I'm nervous. Can't help it. Looks like it's the geometry that's fighting with me on these warbles here. BMAC, that's right. All right. Come on, pick it. Okay. For rigging purposes, do you usually model the tail straight out like you have, or the ears? Does it pin on the rigger? Yeah, usually I will. Something either straight out the back, or in this case, since it just kind of flows this direction, yeah, I'll typically do it like this, even though it's a diagonal. Straight's better because you can get easier with symmetry and things like that, but then it'll make a kink in the tail coming from the body to the tail, and it's kind of hard to like get that kink out, you know, get the kink out. So, Michael, I'd hope people aren't watching for the eyebrow. Yeah, that's why I go there, right? What is going on with my machine? Okay, I'm having issues. It's like it's lagging. Like my machine itself's lagging, not the internet, but my machine. Like I'll go to rotate the model and it'll stick for a second. Really strange. But it's almost time to be done here, so I'm just gonna wrap this up a little bit. Hopefully I can continue without it failing me. Stitch sorta 2. Dynamic is on, but it should be on because I'm using a low resolution mesh. See, there it goes again. Oh. Yeah, it's crashing, I think. I don't know what's going on. I don't have anything else running in the background. Trying to figure it out. Weird. Just got to make sure it's saved and we'll be good. How'd you model the mouth? If you want to watch this back, Pixologic will post this video on their YouTube channel and you can watch exactly how I built it. But yeah, I did save, Doug, thanks. I just push the geometry in and then make a mouth. It's kind of the Armstrong way to do it. And then poly groups around it and then ZRemesh those poly groups. Let me check. I wonder if I have it on. Nope, I don't have it. So usually the worst is when it's on Sculptris Pro mesh, right, Steven? So it's not on there. It's on the body. I'll turn it off. It's on the eyes, which I want. It's on the nose, which I want. It's on this head, which I want. So I don't know what's going on. Hey, Chicken Hawk, how's it going? Yep. Okay. So I'll do the same for this nose as far as, oh goodness. This is going to crash. I know it. So it's like waiting out the last 5 minutes before it crashes. Goodness sakes, I might end it early because I know it's getting unsculptable. At this point, I would relaunch ZBrush, and if it still was doing it, I'd restart my machine. Okay. So I'm just going to delete these lower subdivision levels. Let's see if I hide this. Snake hook those nostrils. I'm trying to decide how I want to make these nostrils. I might just do a mask and do edge loop mask border. I like doing that for a cleaner cut sometimes. Oh goodness. Something to do with topologic. My version likes to lag when I have that on past a certain poly count. I don't have topological on right now, so I'm not sure. Am I capable of the knowledge? Let's my ZBrush is just lagging as if I have dynamic and subdivision levels turned on at the same time. You know how that ZBrush will just go, it'll just cry when you get that happening? Yeah, or if there's an update running in the background, I can't see one going on right now. Or if I'm like rendering in the background or something. That's what it feels like. It's like something is affecting my CPU and I don't know what it is. Something. Let's see, maybe a little higher. My camera's lagging. Yeah, my whole machine. I can tell my whole machine. Because chat will like lag and then all of a sudden I'll see a bunch of chat. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway, what I was going to do is a edge loop mask border, which will basically do what it says. It's going to put an edge loop around this mask and make a new poly group, and that way I can push it in. Yeah, that's true, Steven. Getting some drop frames on the stream. All right. Well, I think it's time. Oh, come on. It's going to crash. I know it's going to crash. All right, you guys. Yep. Well, thanks though, Ash. That's I appreciate it. And I think I'm going to end right here for the day. There's still a lot of stuff I need to do to this, and we'll continue it on the next stream next Monday. So I think I'm not going to be streaming next Monday, actually. So I'll be back on the 17th. Come watch me back on the 17th. I'll continue and finish building this guy, girl, whatever. I think it's a female because of those eyelashes. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Yeah, we'll continue this. And if you want these brushes, I give them away for free on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. Just have to scroll down a little bit until you see the big blue box. You can get them there. And thanks, Ash and Steven, for joining me. And thanks, everyone else. Thank you, Neil, for all the links. My live bot. Anyway, I appreciate it. And I will see everybody in 2 weeks. Have a wonderful couple of weeks. Don't get too hot. It's August, middle of summer here in Utah. It's hot. It's 103 yesterday. So anyway, take care, guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you. Cheers. Bye.